Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Broadway Jets YouTube channel. You'll know me from Twitter as NYJ Mike. I'm joined as always by the master of receipts, NYJ Matt. Matt, some current events going on. Odell Beckham signs with the Ravens. The Jets sign Quinton Jefferson. Plug up that DT spot. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, it's been a while too. We'll do more recurring videos.
Yeah.
Mike was in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I think I had COVID. So we had a lot going on, but we're back. The biggest news that we'll get to OBJ to the Ravens. 1 year's 18 million with like a few million of incentives. I think the signing bonus was the biggest part of it. At the end of the day, I thought it was a low risk, high reward move, given you got him for about 7 million, 8 million.
That's what I thought. I thought it'd be 6.5, 7,
The
8.
worst part was I tweeted out like what the fuck after he signed with the Ravens. And then it comes out it was for 18 million. I'm like perfectly fine not going that far. And then everyone replied to the tweet about what the fuck. They were like, dude, it was 18 million. You're an asshole. And I'm like, I didn't know the money yet. I'm sorry.
Oh, I got murdered. I tweeted out a video like a couple hours before, and it was an edit of Aaron Rodgers throwing a bomb to Odell. And I was like, Rodgers to OBJ is going to be so much goddamn fun. There's like 500 quote tweets of it, like
Dude,
literally 500 just murdering me.
you texted me and you're like, I'm getting killed on Twitter. And I'm like, what inappropriate thing did you tweet that is gonna get us canceled? And then I see the OBJ tweet. I'm like, oh, that was
Oh,
the one that did it.
yeah, I had to bite the bullet on that one. The Dolphins Twitter was just going off with it. But to your point, the $18 million, I was completely shocked. I really thought once Odell was like, he tweeted it was the original reports that he wanted 20 million. And then people are like, he wants 15. And then he tweeted something. He's like, I just want more than five or something like it was like, I want you 1 year, 5 million more than that. And he
Right.
gets 18. But it's smart. The Ravens are appeasing Lamar. They must have, of course, it's public information that OBJ is going to visit with the Jets on Monday. And they were probably like, look, you're not leaving the building. Whatever you want, you're our number one receiver. Here's a boatload of money that the Jets aren't going to ever be able to match. That's it. And it is what it is.
It is what it is. It's not a big deal. It could have been a bigger deal, to be honest. Mike just disappeared from the screen. Bring it back. He's
I'm
back.
back. I'm back. I dropped my iPad.
So yeah, look at the end. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Do they need to address the wide receiver position? Probably, but if you're going to keep Corey Davis, which a lot of signs are pointing to they might, then you just probably don't touch it. And you go into the year. Jackson Smith and Jigba is a huge mock now at 13. I don't know if
Yeah.
the Jets are going to invest again in wide receiver after they did
Back to
it.
back.
Dude, second round pick in 2020, second round pick in 2021,
Ugh.
first round pick in 2022. I don't know if they're going to do it again. I know a lot of people like it. It would be very cool to tag him with Garrett Wilson, but I don't think they're going receiver at 13.
I'm team DeAndre Hopkins. I always said it. And this now that Odell got $18 million, it makes a lot more sense that you would go get DeAndre Hopkins, who's being paid 19 million, similar age, had the PED suspension. But Diop was 10th in the league in yards per game and fourth in the league in receptions per game last year. In the games that he played, I mean, the guy is still a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck against teams trying to play man to man against the Jets. If you have Garrett Wilson, DeAndre Hopkins, and Lazard out there, you could use Mecole Hardman, do weird stuff. If the Jets have some cash lying around, why not? I think that makes a lot of sense. But
The Hopkins deal makes a lot more sense now that they traded more. Not even in terms of like position scarcity, it's that you have another second round pick that you can move. Clearly, I think.
I don't think Diop's gonna go for a two anyway. I mean, because you got to pay the guy $19 million guaranteed.
Well, I guess what you don't want to do is trade a 2 for Rogers this year, a 3 for Hopkins, or a 4, and kill yourself with draft capital this year. And we know Joe Douglas loves his pick. So
I get it. I would, and again, the other argument against is there's the Njigma's being mocked at 13. You don't have to do that then. Now you trade your fourth or whatever round pick for D Hop. You draft you sign another center. You could still take a tackle at 13. You could take another offensive lineman in the second round. You could take a safety. You could take a defensive tackle. It's a lot of flexibility still. I'm not saying that I think it's going to happen. I'm not one of these fake accounts on Twitter that's pretending to have a source
can we talk
that
about it?
D Hop is going to go to the Jets. Whatever. Yeah,
Can we talk
ridiculous.
about it? I really don't like accounts or people that build their following on aggregating news. So it's basically taking a tweet, copy pasting it, and saying per that person, or the educated guess. If I see the situation going, I have to bring it up. Even if it's like you that were to do it as my best friend, I would be like, "You're an asshole, and I hate you."
Yeah,
Because what
it's fair.
happens is
It's
you
fair.
you take these educational guesses and you do it vague enough where if DeAndre Hopkins doesn't get traded to the Jets, which is probably the likely outcome, he doesn't get traded there. He's like, oh, they just were doing their due diligence. I still have my source. And if it happens, he'll tell everyone, look at me. I'm the best. And it is so baffling that people do this. And that's how they grow their account. I have a platform. I just need to shit on it. And I will continue to do so. Every person that has an account that talks about a source, I quote tweet it.
Yeah,
I have to do it. And
you killed
because
the
we have
guy
to
today. Yeah,
keep us in check, how can Joe Douglas have the most strict front office ever? Nothing comes out of it. Not a Jets beat. They've broken one signing this entire year, but a random account on Twitter with 800 followers is going to tell you that they have interest in DeAndre Hopkins. Get the fuck out of here. We
he
gotta
doesn't.
be better.
He
You can't
doesn't
do
know.
it.
And speaking of the one signing that the Jets broke, the beat broke, it was Quinton Jefferson. Seems like a pretty good move. Defensive tackle. I don't know what did they come out with the number?
I don't think they have.
Yeah. So Jefferson had 5.5 sacks last year. He started all 17 games for the Raiders the year before. A couple stints with the Seahawks. The one thing that caught my eye is, dude is he's 290 pounds and he fits that Rankins mold, but not that big fat run stuffing dude that it seems like the Jets need, which is fine because you had to replace Rankins. So you figure Jefferson will likely start, play a decent amount of snaps, maybe a little bit less than Rankins. You could use JFM inside a little bit more, try to get Bryce Huff and Jermaine Johnson some more playing time on the outside. I thought it was fine. I'm curious to see the number. And I'm really curious to see the number because of the weird contracts that Rankins and
Nathan
Nathan
Shepard.
Shepard got elsewhere. So we'll see.
Yeah, just feed me big, heavy set dudes on the interior defensive line. Just do it. Like, just add more people there. Like, it was such an annoying need that they could have just filled, and now they got it, which is perfectly fine. The Jets do a weird D-line rotation anyway. So, like, would you be shocked the Jets take a flyer and a day two guy, and they
Yeah.
just play like 25% of the snaps this year? Like, that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're at the point where all those the Jets for a couple years in a row drafted defensive linemen late. Jonathan Marshall, Nathan Shepard a couple years ago. And then those guys are pretty much gone. So you have to replenish that position, with some young dudes. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited, man. I just want Rodgers here. I want to see what they do with the picks. I think you tweeted. I really do think there might just be like a pick swap and then some other like small conditional pick. If that's the case, it'd be so good.
I do think a deal was in place, and then Rodgers went on McAfee, and then the Packers fan base would not they would be up in arms if it was a second round pick and like a bad conditional. And I just don't think the Packers want to go back. And I think they've read the tea leaves and they're like, we have to hold out long enough where we don't look like complete assholes, but we have no leverage. And they don't. And the Packers beat writers that are being weird, and now there's like more beat writers coming out of the woodwork. The Packer fans, I get Jet fans can be kind of crazy too. Like, I'm very mindful of the fact that we probably say insane things in their comments, but they're actually like genuinely annoying people. Like, anytime they have a chance to talk about, like, if the roles were reversed, they would never be acting like this. They would never be acting.
No, we have nothing to stand to back ourselves with. And they could always say, "Oh, 4 championships, whatever." Fuck you. And then I have to play I have replied to 1,000 people that the Jets are 9-5 against the Packers in their history.
And then I make the tweet last night where I
Yeah.
talk about like ranking fan bases that I interact with, and like
Yeah.
31 teams are intolerable, and then the Packers are an annoying / dumb. And the amount of people that replied like, "Why aren't the Dolphins there?" I'm like, dude, it was a bit, like it's a clear bit, and they're like,
Yeah.
dude, like the Cowboys have to be there. Are you fucking dumb? The Seahawks aren't there, and I was like,
Why would it
needs to shut
be
the
like?
fuck up.
Why would you have tweeted that yesterday? Like, it's just randomly. It's so stupid.
dude.
Oh,
No,
sick of this shit.
it's a good
Draft
week
is
though.
soon.
It's a
Should
good
we
week.
should we go to that draft party thing in MetLife?
No,
I don't know what that entails. It sounds kind of terrible.
no. And if you're going, have the best of time.
Yeah.
On draft night, I want to sit on my couch, drink a beer, and watch the first round unfold. And I think the Jets are in a cool spot. Whether they pick at 13 or 15, they will be picking at one of those two spots. You
Yeah.
get to see how in front of you, you'll have 3 to 4 quarterbacks go. And you're like, those are 3 to 4 less people that they're going to take our guy. You'll see Jalen Carter, Will Anderson go, maybe Tyree Wilson go. You'll see like 3 or 4 total defensive linemen go off the board. Then maybe one
Oh,
offensive lineman, 2 corners could go. And then you're sitting there like, holy shit, we have our choice of Broderick Jones, Paris Johnson, Peter Skoronsky. Have you seen Darnell Wright, the tackle from Tennessee, on Twitter?
no.
Oh, he's the best. It's
He's
you
good.
probably don't want a guy in the locker room like this, but he just been like replying to every DM he gets, where someone's like, "You're fat and out of shape," and he'd be like, "I'll fuck your mama." He'll say something back, which is like ridiculous. There's a girl that DM'd every offensive lineman prospect, and
Yeah.
she DM'd everyone and was like, "I want to be your baby mom, whatever." And he just responded like nasty hoe, and it was like the only one of the top offensive linemen to respond. I almost like him more
It's
because of
probably
that.
one of the coaches, like one of the coaches is trying to see who will reply and just send out some feelers to all the guys. Get a
It's
little character insight.
who's our Keith Carter is the
Yeah,
offensive
Keith
line.
Carter is sending out this girl to be his mercenary. I mean, look, I'm so locked in on offensive lineman at 13. I'm so locked in. That's my pick. Submit it now. Unless Jalen Carter is somehow there, is the only guy I would pick other than an offensive lineman. I do not want a receiver at 13. And of course, it'll be great. And I did not want Garrett Wilson last year. I just don't like taking receivers so early when, you could draft a blue chip offensive lineman. But I look, if they get in Jigbos, he's probably going to be insane and I'll love him.
I go O line as well.
Yeah, I go all line. Because you can't trade for anybody who's like DeAndre Hopkins. I would just trade for DeAndre Hopkins and draft an offensive lineman instead of drafting a receiver and doing nothing at offensive line.
If Skoronsky and Paris Johnson Jr. have position flexibility like AVT has, and they could play guard or tackle,
Sick.
imagine having 2 AVTs, the upside of Becton. Then you have
Could be
a
Ben Jones. Could be,
your Lake Tomlinson's going to be a guard probably, but then you
Tomlinson will
have
be the left guard.
you have flexibility of Max Mitchell now is like a really quality backup where you don't shit your pants when Chuma Doga comes in the game on a
And
prime time.
and Dwayne
And
Brown will be the other backup. Oh my god! Or you know what the Jets could do? They really wanted. They could cut Dwayne Brown, save $10 million, use that money to go get DeAndre Hopkins. This is the Twitter GM kind of thing. It's not that easy, but uh,
there's like
I
a
would.
loyalty
Those are
aspect
the
too. I
those are
don't
the
want to be
moves
like
I
a
would make.
loser, but like the way Salah talks about Dwayne Brown, Corey Davis,
Right, then you go cut him as
Carl
weird.
Lawson, they're just not gonna they're like not going to cut them.
It matters. It does matter, and it matters to have that vote of confidence from your coach. And if I was a player, that security would really motivate me. But some guys is the opposite. Some people, when you have security, act like dogs, like fucking Muhammad Wilkerson. But it's interesting.
Yeah, that was a good at Mike. I know you got to bounce.
Yeah, I
Anything
gotta go
else
play
before we go?
basketball. Jets are gonna win 13 games next year for the first time ever.
I love it.
It's
All
true.
right, we'll be back. Thanks for
Stop
listening.
quote tweeting my Odell tweet.
I'm gonna
Stop.
quote tweet it again just to bring more engagement. All right, see you, buddy.
All right.